Country, tackling the topics everyone is talking about online. Share, engage, and interact. This is Newsfeed Now.
Good morning, and thanks so much for joining us on what I am going to call a terrific Tuesday. I hope it is for you too. I'm Hillary Hunt, your host. Today's trending stories include a historic runoff in Georgia that everyone is talking about, the upcoming presidential certification vote, and a man's act of bravery that saved a deputy. And of course, we got to talk about March Madness. It's going to be mad this year. We've got much more, but of course, we need to start with talking about that Georgia runoff, a huge voting day in the Peach State. Today, we're going to find out whether Republicans will retain the majority in the Senate or if Democrats are going to take over. Georgia's Senate runoff elections are today, and results will determine what party controls the Senate. All eyes on Georgia right now. There are two incumbent Republican senators on the ballot right now, Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. They're up against Democrats Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff. We've seen both the president-elect and the president in that state campaigning. If the Democrats win both sides or both seats, the Senate will be split 50-50. And here's the thing, that gives a tie-breaking vote to Vice President-elect Kamala Harris, which obviously the Democrats would then take control of the Senate if it was up to her vote. President-elect Joe Biden also rallied voters, like I said, in Georgia. He said the power is in their hands to change the course of the nation, and that Democratic candidates would work for the people, not for Trump. Now let's talk about President Trump. He also spoke at a rally for the Republican candidates last night. He emphasized the importance of the runoff on a national scale, calling a Republican Senate a last line of defense against the Democratic control. He also pressured all Republican lawmakers, including Vice President Pence, to denounce the Electoral College votes tomorrow. And more than 3 million voters have already cast their ballots in Georgia, which is a record turnout for that runoff election. A lot of people keeping their eye on this. But let's talk about what's happening on Capitol Hill. The Electoral College vote, an inter-party battle brewing among Republicans ahead of Wednesday's vote to certify Joe Biden's presidential election win. One side is increasing its pressure on lawmakers to challenge the results, while the other is warning the effort will jeopardize the nation's democratic values. Washington correspondent Jesse Turner reports for us.
In my district, they want me to fight for the president.
Newly sworn-in Republicans like Alabama Congressman Barry Moore don't dispute their own election results, but plan to challenge President Donald Trump's loss on the same ballot.
This is not about theatrics. This is about the future of the republic.
Moore joins a growing list of GOP lawmakers, about 100 House members and a dozen senators, who think election fraud occurred in key battleground states. Recounts, failed court cases, and the president's own Justice Department have said otherwise.
It's not just about Donald Trump. It's about every election that the next generation is going to see come across the ballot box. We've got to make sure it's fair and free.
But other President Trump loyalists, like Arkansas Senator Tom Cotton, are pushing back on these efforts. Cotton said in a statement, objecting to certified electoral votes won't give him a second term. It will only embolden those Democrats who want to erode further our system of constitutional government. Meanwhile, fellow Arkansan, Congressman Bruce Westerman, isn't saying which way he will vote.
I'm looking at the history and the situation right now. It's kind of a fluid situation. I'll make my decision on Wednesday when we've got more facts and data out there.
Westerman notes Democrats raised objections to electoral college returns following Republican victories in 2001, 2005, and 2017.
It's a constitutional right that members of Congress have.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
And of course, we need to bring in Jesse Tenor, who was just reporting for us from our nation's capital. Good morning, Jesse. And this is really dividing the Republican Party.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you just heard from 3 Republicans there, and they're all kind of on different wavelengths at the moment. And that's really true across the entire Republican Party on Capitol Hill as well. And so moving into tomorrow, it's usually a very short ceremony. We saw back in December when all of the state's electors cast their ballots essentially. And so now tomorrow it's very ceremonial, where people bring in these boxes that have these votes, and then they go through alphabetically by state. A bipartisan group of lawmakers do, and then they read exactly how they voted. And so it usually doesn't take that long. But since it does go alphabetically, lawmakers can interrupt during this process and say that they object to different results in each state. Of course, some key battleground states that we're watching, one of them being Georgia, and that happens to be pretty high up on the alphabet. And so we should see those interruptions start happening rather quickly in that process. But exactly the strategy and how lawmakers, especially Republicans, plan to react moving forward is still really up in the air. They're, of course, wanting to challenge these results in these specific battleground states to hopefully bode well for President Trump. Like you mentioned, too, he spoke about that even himself at the rally last night. But it'll be really interesting to see exactly how this plays out. And a lot of people are thinking that, this really won't change anything, since you even heard Republicans pushing back on this as well. And so this starts in a joint session where senators and House members meet together. But then when there is an objection, they split into each chamber, and then there has to be a debate and a vote in each of those. And there has to be a simple majority, too, to ultimately challenge the results. And since the House is Democratic controlled, that definitely won't happen. And since Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell has been advising his fellow Republicans to not push back on these election results, it's not looking like the Senate's going to be able to do anything about it either.
Yeah, but some fireworks definitely expected tomorrow. Thanks so much, Jesse Tenur on Capitol Hill for us. But let's stick in Washington, D.C. The Democrat-led House kicked off the 117th Congress with some new rules removing gender. A lot of people talking about this. Congress approved the rules for the next 2-year session that starts this week. The language actually eliminates gender references. The House Democratic Caucus chair asked about the new language, while the House Republican leader says striking gender is just downright absurd. And in our top trending story in the South, it was a holiday road trip home for a North Carolina college graduate that he says he'll never forget. DeJorn Kemmer was on his way to see his parents when a deputy wrecked his vehicle right in front of him. But what happened next was all caught on camera. Nick Studevant has the story.
DeJorn Kemmer credits his faith.
Hey, we got to give it all to the man above,
for giving him the courage.
I was afraid, but I just knew that I couldn't let the fear take over, the moment.
Bro, I literally just saved a man's life.
Moments before DeJorn shot this video, it was a typical night. He was headed down Highway 308 to his parents' home in Lewiston, Woodville, New Year's Eve night. His girlfriend was driving and his cousin was in the back seat.
We had, on the way to Lewiston, coming through Windsor, we had about 4 officers pass us. All of them seemed to have gotten dispatch calls that was going towards Lewiston. Suddenly, it was an officer that was going towards Windsor, which was about to pass us. I guess he got dispatch call as well.
He says the Bertie County deputy flipped on his lights and did a 3-point turn.
He hit the gas. All of a sudden, you see the car shoot off to the right. It looked as if he was parking the car, but you could tell he didn't park the car.
But DeJorn says when they got closer, they noticed the car had wrecked and the area was filled with smoke.
And we're like, oh snap, we got to save him. By that time, there's black smoke coming up from the car. We pulled over. As soon as we got out, he screamed, "Help, help, please, somebody help me."
DeJorn said he was able to drag him out of the car. DeJorn, his girlfriend, and cousin were able to get him to safety as the car caught on fire. Moments later, help arrived. DeJorn told me the Bertie County Sheriff told him the deputy has about a 6-month recovery.
His wife reached out to me as well, let me know how much she really appreciated it. And she said that she looks forward to meeting us in the future. It was an honor to do God's work in the time that he needed me.
About a heroic act, way to jump into action. I love that story. Another story I love. Let's talk about a New Year's surprise. A Texas couple unexpectedly delivered their baby girl at home in their bathtub early New Year's Day. Obviously a huge surprise to them. Jayla Washington has their incredible story. Take a look.
Every heartbeat is a gift of life that has no price. Something especially true for a small human beaming with light.
You guys delivered Meredith at home.
Yes. Yes.
Right before their eyes.
Yeah, that was not the plan, but that's what happened.
Michael and Megan Cardwell had to act fast.
And around 12:20, she came out of the room and she was like, things are moving. Oh, there was very little time to act.
Michael and Megan had to flip the switch, and there they were.
Hopping in the tub, welcoming our little girl ourselves.
Not to mention, their 2-year-old daughter was down the hall with not a clue.
She didn't hear the delivery. I mean, she just slept right through it.
They may be all laughs and smiles now, but Michael knew they needed to call 911 for help through it.
Have a birth just occurred.
Michael says the operator was even able to tell him how to tie off baby Meredith's umbilical cord with this shoelace.
Maybe no complications at this time.
If it wasn't for those operators, yeah, we would not. Who knows what would have happened?
Recovering at Ascension Seton the next day in Kyle, both mom and baby are back home now with family.
Numerous miracles had to happen.
They're reflecting.
You can't control a lot.
And reminding themselves that with a new year,
walking away with a little
comes new hope.
Rainbow miracle, baby. I mean, what else could you ask for?
My mind is blown by this story. We got to bring in Jayla Washington from Austin, Texas. Talk about jumping into action. What really caught my eye is they used a shoelace for the umbilical cord. How did they think that fast?
So really, as you guys just heard, it really had to do with the 911 operator who the dad was talking to. So he knew that, like, hey, once we were going to have to give birth at home, he needed to call 911 to hopefully get somebody there as fast as possible, just because you never know what's going to happen when you're delivering a baby at home. So the operator is the one who actually told him to get a shoelace and to use the shoelace to tie off little baby Meredith's umbilical cord.
And, you know, talk about remaining calm and an awesome 911 operator to be able to walk that family through, you know, a crazy moment, but also such a beautiful, exciting moment for them at the same time.
Yeah, let me just say, I think it takes a special person, because, like, I was going through the 911 call footage and I'm like, there is absolutely no way I would be able to keep my cool. So kudos to all of our 911 operators. They've obviously got a lot of special detailed training, but kudos to the dad too, who was able to stay calm and literally deliver his baby girl in their bathtub. Just an incredible story all around.
Yeah, I don't think any parent is ever prepared for that, but what a special moment. And, you know, a story that baby Meredith is going to have to share, you know, when she has preschool story time. Guess what I was delivered in about by my awesome parents and my dad. Well, thanks so much for joining us out of Austin, Texas. Let's move on to the Midwest. Some huge sports news. The NCAA men's basketball tournament will take over Indianapolis. Yes, 68 teams will play 67 games from the Purdue campus on the north side to IU campus on the south side in March, all leading up to that big championship game on April 5th at Lucas Oil Stadium. Russ McQuaid joins us from downtown Indy with the latest.
With an estimated economic impact of more than $100 million, the impending arrival of the NCAA tournament to Indianapolis will be a big boost not only to the city, but also the state's attempts to bounce back from the pandemic's financial slump.
Indianapolis has hosted 7 Final Fours, but none will mean more or be as complicated to pull off as this year's championship game in the midst of a worldwide COVID-19 pandemic.
You know, we anticipated playing 3 college basketball games in April. Now we're playing 67. So, you know, how are we thinking about staffing, volunteers, transportation, security in the hotel rooms, you know, media opportunities?
That means 2,500 hotel rooms, plus meeting, game, and practice spaces safe from the coronavirus.
They'll be in single hotels. Teams will be housed on single floors, have their own dedicated space there. They'll have space dedicated for team meetings and meals and film sessions in a single location in the convention center. Practice sites will be very much controlled with incredibly limited access.
There will be COVID testing before the teams leave their home campuses and follow-up testing once the players and coaches arrive in Indy in an attempt to limit a super spreader outbreak related to the tournament in the spring.
I'm confident that Indiana and Indianapolis will have turned the corner, and that hopefully with the distribution of greater vaccines, that we will see considered improvement in our overall numbers.
Hard-hit downtown Indianapolis will need some sprucing up before the tournament arrives in mid-March.
And when the attention's on Indianapolis, Evansville, and Fort Wayne, and we're not only going to be ready, again, we will over-deliver.
The Division II men's basketball tournament will be held in Evansville, Division III in Fort Wayne. Whether or not fans will be able to attend any of the games is yet to be determined.
Let's bring in JoJo Gentry joining us from Indianapolis, our sports expert, you could say. And JoJo, you know, we see this in the NBA, we saw it in the NHL, but this is kind of the first college sport that's doing this bubble-like mentality.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is something that we're continuing to learn about and how it exactly works. At this time, as far as those 67 games that are going to be played in and around Indianapolis, fans are not allowed at this time. The only people that are going to be allowed at those games are the family members of the coaches and the players. So it's going to be interesting to see how many people actually come to downtown and invest in local business. One thing that Russ McQuaid has touched on in our newsroom over the last couple of days is that this is going to be a big economic boost for downtown in some way, especially with the fact that 2/3 of the hospitality industry is facing bankruptcy right now. And as far as we know, there are going to be 4 bubble hotels in Indianapolis, one of those being the JW Marriott downtown. That's where all the Colts opponents stay. So we're going to have to see and monitor how all of this exactly monitors or impacts the local economy here in and around Indianapolis.
And JoJo, I know Russ touched on this a little, but when it comes to keeping these players healthy, this is a lot of teams playing a lot of games in a concentrated area. Do we know a testing protocol yet? Kind of touch on that for us. How are they going to keep people healthy?
Sure. So at this time, we know that players and coaches are going to be tested for the virus before they leave their homes. And then once they arrive in Indianapolis at another host game site, whichever one that they're assigned to. And then from that point, they're going to be restricted to their living areas or their practice spaces until they tip off.
So definitely a controlled bubble. Thanks, JoJo, out of Indianapolis, for something a lot of sports fans are going to be watching to see how that goes. Now, before we go, how would you like to start your new year off right with some money? Are you feeling lucky? Well, guess what? Steve's feeling lucky. He says, give me the change. The jackpot for the 2 biggest lotteries are now over $400 million. You can share that with us if you win. This is the highest either has been in several months. The Mega Millions jackpot was hit 7 times in 2019, but not by Steve or myself, but only once in 2020. Very fitting for that year. Right now, the Mega Millions is at $432 million. The Powerball at $410. So guys, go out and buy a ticket. If you win, you know, look up my number or just tweet me because I will love to share that money with you. You never know. We could go on a trip or something. And with that, I hope your Tuesday is rich with some good times, even if it's not with cash. We hope you join us tomorrow. Same place, same time to get your day started off right with all those top trending stories. This has been Newsfeed Now. I'm Hillary Hunt. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Bye.